So maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. Jeremy Corbell, right? Well respected in this whole UAP, UFO conversation. I was introduced to him through the news outlet when I was reacting to all of that stuff, and he just kept popping up. So I'm like, who is this person? So did a little research and figured out that he was respected in this space, and people really like to hear his opinion on things and find out what he knows or have found out about everything that's going on. All right, so today we're gonna get into it. So if you're new, subscribe to the channel, man, and remember, it's for entertainment purposes only. Let's get to it.
Why do you think these people who can build these superior things haven't come here?
They have come here.
I know, but they landed in Billings, Montana. Why don't they come to New York?
Right. So they do go. They do come to New York. There's a mass phenomenon that has been going on since the beginning of recorded human history, where these things engage human beings on multitudes of levels, from lights in the skies, which is the most famous part, to close encounters. So my argument is, they have made themselves clearly available. You know, they haven't come on your show yet, Larry, but let's get that to happen.
Half of Americans believe in UFOs, right?
More than
That's
half,
what I
probably,
heard.
yeah.
And that's based on what?
I mean, for me, it was 1989 and Bob Lazar telling his story. That's what weaponized my curiosity about it.
Have you ever seen one?
I have never seen something that I can definitively say is a flying saucer. I have seen incredible light shows in the sky.
Why do you think these people...
I can respect that. And you could tell he was being honest and genuine about it. And it's funny that a lot of us, I ain't gonna say all of us, you know what I mean? Even I'll go as far as to say some of us have seen Bob Lazar and heard him speak, and it did something to us. I can admit to that, man. Hearing him speak about it, hearing him go into detail, looking at his mannerisms when he spoke, you know what I mean? Trying to just pay attention to see, because we've all grown to the point, if you're of a certain age and maturity, you've grown to a point to where you can kind of tell if a person is lying to you or not. Some people may slide by you or skip past you and get by you with a lie, but not too many people are gonna get by you. You know what I mean? Because you've learned and you've built up like sort of a radar system to detect a person who's lying. So when you listen and you watch the Bob Lazar interviews and you hear him, you're looking at that and you're like, nah, he's telling the truth. And if he isn't, boy, is he a good liar? Because he got me. And apparently he got a lot of other people. You know what I mean? So I just think I find it fascinating. And then to listen to Corbell say, we have had encounters, that just makes it even more crazy for me. You know what I mean? Because now I'm going back through my entire life and saying, okay, did I interact with somebody that I felt like was off? And could that have been an extraterrestrial or quote unquote alien? Look at you. You're doing the same thing right now. I don't blame you, man. You got to go back through your entire history. Your life got to flash before your eyes again. You got to go back through all of that data and figure out who or what could you have come in contact with that could have been an alien. Let's keep going.
Yeah, this is a big day for people that want the truth about UFOs, UFO transparency. So let me just give you the basics. Some big sonic booms have happened. Our government is officially affirming to the American public that UFOs are real. They're unidentified, flying with impunity through our restricted airspace. And now we know from the release that George Knapp, my mentor in journalism, and I released that over a conflict zone, you have one of these spheres, metallic spheres. It's a UAP or UFO official designation by our military and intelligence community. So we wanted to share this. It is inherently unclassified, although it is contained within classified briefings. But the image itself is unclassified, so we can put it out. But this is happening on a daily basis off of east and west coast of the United States of America. But now we know this is the first time people get to see an official government-filmed UFO, or UAP as they call them, from a conflict zone.
For the cynic out there, is there any explanation
where that is something that is not from a different planet, that is not unexplained?
Oh, for sure. And that would be a huge lapse of intelligence. I'm not any one image, I'm not hanging my hat on it and saying I know for sure. I'm providing to the public with George Knapp additional data and information to be looked at. We don't know, but this is identified within our intelligence communities and the DOD and the Pentagon in official reports as a UAP, which means UFO, same thing. So of course, we don't know. Where are they from? Who's operating? What are their capabilities? What's the intent? How long has this been going on? It goes on from the back of recorded human history. So I'm not saying I know what's going on, that UFOs are from another planet. How would I know that? What I'm trying to do is report the news as a journalist to the American public and create UFO transparency so we can have rational scientific investigation, and we can also have discovery of what the UFO presence on planet Earth means to. This is a big.
That's all we want. Transparency. That's it. Is that so hard to ask for? We're not saying definitively that you know what I mean? We might have gotten mad, myself included, and lashed out a few times and said, you know what I mean? But what we want is transparency. Bottom line. Bottom line. You know what I mean? And when you give us this data and we couple it with things that have happened 60, 70 years ago, things that have happened, you know what I mean? The Roswell incident, we can start to piece together. We can pull in scientists. We can find things. If y'all are holding spacecrafts, if y'all are holding, excuse me, biologics, if y'all are holding that stuff we need to give to the scientists so they can research it, so we can figure this thing out. Like, this is the best thing. These developments, to me, have been the best thing to happen. Because it's putting more pressure on the ones that possibly have the stuff hidden from us or are keeping it from us. Classified documents, you know what I mean? Security clearances and all this type of stuff. It's putting pressure on them. And this stuff has to start trickling down at some point to us. And we can figure out what's going on. We don't have to wait for somebody to spoon feed us the information that they want us to have. So again, it goes back to transparency. That's all we asking for. That's it. Like he said, I can't hang my hat on every little thing that we see and call that officially an alien UFO. We can't say where they come from. We don't know where they come from. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? But what we can do is gather everything together. And also start showing love and support to the people who have been cast out for coming forth and talking about their experiences. Think about all those people who have been cast out, shunned, especially back when it was the tabloid era. Remember that era where you would walk down a grocery store aisle and get ready to go to the checkout, and as soon as you get to the checkout, that little magazine area, remember that area? The magazine area that had people's faces on it and was calling them different things. It was crazy. It was crazy. They had to live through all that. And some people saw that, and some people was like, I refuse to come forward. So they've been dealing with this sort of trauma that they have. Like, this stuff encompasses a lot of different things, man. It does. So let's keep going. Come on my show and just start talking about something, and I not know what you're talking about. Most people would have just went along with what he said and was like, yeah, Joe was like, nah, let me look this up, and started looking things up and debunking certain things, bro. That's what I respect about people who have these shows. You're not just gonna come in front of me and say, okay, it's a super capacitor or a continuum transfunctioner. If you ever watch Dudes, Where's My Car? Then you know where I got that from, right? One of the most funniest movies ever. Anyway, back to what I was saying. But you're not just gonna come on here and say some things. I'm gonna research it and look it up. That's what I always say to people. Don't take anything I have to say. Don't take anything they have to say. Do your own due diligence and research and look it up. That's the only way we're ever gonna progress forward. We give pushback on something that somebody says. So when you guys are pushing back against me or anybody else, I can't get mad at that. That's how we move forward. But most people are hear what he just said and did and be like, see, that's what I told y'all. This guy's an absolute fraud. This guy's an absolute fraud, this, that, and the third, and won't go look and research themselves and figure out. It just don't stop there. Then if that's the case, then why are people continuing to interview him? Why are people continuing to listen to what he's have to say with the information he's bringing about? But most people hear it and stop there. Don't do that. Shout outs to Joe Rogan for that right there. He's like, nah, we need to figure out. I think they debunked that. Let's figure that out. He signaled to his team. Let's figure that out.
You know, I am mad as and I'm not going to take it anymore. If you remember that movie.
I remember it very well, Jeremy. Network.
Yeah. Questions are weapons. And so that's why I'm back on. But let's talk about why I'm back on. Last time, it was like a Twilight Zone movie mixed with like The Wizard of Oz. It is like that film, Don't Look Up. I was sitting there thinking, what are they doing? Saying tinfoil hat. What are they doing? Playing the X-Files music. We are so far past that. But this is a battle for information right now. And I said, so put on your battle helmet. So let's talk about that real quick.
They got the music real high, but I can still make out what he's saying. You know what I mean? Keep going.
What I meant to try to talk with you about is that this is an international issue. And no matter what is found about this UFO topic, whatever the ground level truth is, this is the biggest story in human history. No matter what it is found that UFOs are or represent to humanity, they now call them UAP, no big deal. But I want to throw down for you right now so you understand, you might not be aware, there is a literal disinformation campaign by intelligence agencies to quote unquote shape the emerging UAP narrative. And they use stigma and sleight of hand, and your government is actually involved in this. And before today, really your network and you have been kind of unwittingly part of this problem. But as of today, right now, this conversation, your network, we are now going to make sure you are part of the solution. I am.
How do you feel hearing that? Hearing him say that your government is involved in shaping this narrative and they're using sleight of hand and different tactics. How do you feel about that? How does that make you feel? You know what I mean? I've gone through an emotional roller coaster with that. Like, why? Why would you do that to us? Why? It's almost like, I don't know, it's like me suffering from abandonment issues or something like that. I feel like somebody's just lying and abandoning me and just doing me wrong, and all I've ever done was, you know what I mean, look to you for guidance and information and direction. And I just feel like, why would you treat me that way? And then I looked at all of us as a whole and as a collective, and I say, why would you treat us that way? Why would you do that to us? I thought we were supposed to be in this thing together. But manipulation of me, us, why? So when I hear that, that kind of irks me, man, to think that that's possible, that would happen, and how long it's been going on. So to hear him say, this is the biggest story in history. Yeah. And we need to be paying attention. And we need to continue the discussion. That way things don't get by us, that we're up to date, we're paying attention, we know what's going on. Because if not, if we blink, hope that wasn't too loud for y'all. I just did it. I didn't know. My bad. But if we blink, then they can change things and shift it and put us in a space to where we're back again being led and controlled down the wrong path. That's what I'm saying.
So what are UFOs? What do they represent to humanity? Where are we sitting in this universe? What does it mean to be part of a larger ecosystem? That's what drives me. This is not something that I directly get paid for. If I make any money, it's because I make films and products and hope people like them. But really, I got a day job, man. So this for me is passion.
I would love to know what he's gonna produce from this, or what type of documentaries, if he hasn't already done some that I've missed out on. I think I saw one, but it was put out by maybe the news site. Was it Newsmax or something like that? One of them, they did like a little documentary with him, but I would love to see what he produces. If he does like a documentary on this where he's able to interview, and people are, even if they gotta, you know what I mean, silhouette them out, black them out, and put them in a room where you can't see their face, and then alter their voice and do stuff like that. Even if he has to do that, if he can somehow get in contact with some of these people that David Grush was mentioning, that still work in some of these places, who just don't want to come forward, if he can somehow link with Grush and sit down and talk to some of these people, and we can hear their stories and hear the things that they've seen or worked on, that would be a game changer. Now, some people would be like, but how can we know to trust it? We have to hear and listen to and pick out the consistencies in things. Okay, are they saying the same things similar to what Bob Lazar was saying back in the day? Or are they, it's just, it don't seem like it aligns? We have to make that decision for ourselves. And unfortunately, that's all we have to go off of. So we have to slowly build this thing. We got to slowly build this thing. And it's going to take stories like that, people like Grush, people like Corbell, people like Rogan, people that are willing to sit down with people and have these uncomfortable conversations. You know what I mean? But we also must protect them. We got to protect them. If we expect them to come forth, we got to protect them. So how do we do that? I don't know. Some of y'all may be better at that than me, than figuring that out. You may have a better idea or plan, strategy, or something that you could present. Do so, man. We need this information. Let's keep going.
Look, if you don't believe in aliens, please explain this to me. I'm a little confused. Keep watching.
This is explosive information. This is probably the best UFO military filmed footage, certainly that I've ever seen, but I think also that the world has ever seen. The US Navy photographed and filmed pyramid-shaped UFOs, or commonly called UAPs now, and advanced transmedium vehicles. There were a number of anomalous contacts, or what they call UAPs or UFOs, that swarmed these carriers, that swarmed these destroyers, some of these stealth craft. So what you're seeing is some of what I obtained and released is some of that footage. These are...
Look, if you don't believe in aliens...
The thing that gets me now is how it's made it to all of these news sites. Before, you would get it on a news site maybe, but it would be some type of joking rhetoric behind it. You know what I mean? It was laughed off. In tonight's news, we have another, and it would have this undertone to it. You know what I mean? And it would make people skip right by it. But no, now the way it's made it on there now is completely different. The responses from the Pentagon and different things that have happened since all of this has come out has told you it's a total different environment now. It's not so much as a joking matter anymore. Not when you have viral videos and police officers and families and different ones coming forth with their stories and accounts and different situations that they have. It's no longer a joking matter. Do we have to still deal with the skeptics? Of course. That comes with everything. Any and everything. And I'm pretty sure Jeremy Corbell's character has been attacked and different things like that. What he's probably had to go through, what his DMs probably look like, what his you know what I mean? People probably got a hold to his cell phone. People have probably got a hold to his email. He's probably had a barrage of different attacks. But this has turned into a passion for him. And these news outlets are now taking it serious. They're having real conversation, real dialogue about this stuff, and it's so interesting to see how far we've come. It's no longer just thought of as a comedy bit for you to, you know what I mean, to put on your nighttime show or your little news just to have a little humor moment or segment. No, this stuff is real now. It's serious, and people's lives and different things are at stake, and people are involved, and now it's taken more serious. Let's keep going.
So no, he hasn't even. He was hoping one other employee would. However, I have had people that work at Area 51 confirm parts of Bob's story. One in particular saw him coming off the jet, or he says he saw him coming off the Janet flights. I said, will you go on record with me that you met Bob there on the tarmac? No. Why? Everything we did there was confidential. We couldn't even tell our wives. Why would I go on record with you?
And if he did go on record, he'd probably get harassed or arrested or...
Yeah, he can't even tell
Even
you what he ate
worse.
for lunch out there. You know, that so, and one of the guys I was real excited to talk with just recently passed away. He actually started the bar that was at Area 51, so everybody told the bartender stuff. He started as a flower fund because no one would send flowers to wives when people died out there. But my point is, people have come forward to George, to me. So no, he hasn't even. He was hoping one other employee would.
This is, see, what we're talking about. People are so terrified. People are horrified to come forward. They have families, man. They have families. And you can't ask them to put their families or their livelihoods at stake like that. If anybody ever backed you into a corner like that, what would you do? You're going to protect yours. Even though you know you coming forth would do so much for the greater good. Who's going to protect your loved ones, though? So you can't do nothing but respect them for wanting to stay in the shadows and telling you this. The fact that they were even to give you those little nuggets they gave you and then tell you to turn around and say, man, this is confidential. Can we go on the record? No. No, we can't. I'm giving you this. I shouldn't even be doing this. I can imagine how the conversation went. I know how I would have. I can't even. I shouldn't even be giving you this. I could be being watched right now. Who's to say they're not tracking my whereabouts? Something could be a tracking device, could be on my car. Something could be on. You know what I mean? Who's to say? Imagine the screening and security and the different things they have to go through to be able to work at some of these places. Think of some of the stuff they probably signed. Think of the stories, not only that, think of the stories they've heard or witnessed of people who've broken either those NDAs or contracts or those top secret things that you have to sign, and what was the consequences and results. Because in order for people to have that level of fear, they had to either know something or see something that made them say, man, what did I sign up for? But you know what? I'm here now, and I ain't never gonna expose or tell what I've seen here, because I've seen what have happened to people who have done that. You probably couldn't. There's probably no amounts of money, some people, you could pay them to speak up and speak out because of what they've seen. That, to me, is the scary part, man. Listen, y'all get at me in the comment section, man. You know we can go on for days about this stuff, and we're going to continue. But y'all get at me in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of this video, and stick around and stay tuned. Till next one, I'm gone, man.